You ready? All right, 4:15, let's go ahead and get the Drainage Committee meeting started. That reflect that all members are present besides Mr. Carter. Item number 1, update on Lower Texas Monterey Conshan Road, Malia Canal. Mr. Southwise is not here. Any updates, Mr. Bro?
I don't see anything going on,
All right,
but, Aaron, is there anything on any of the areas?
Nothing new, even when I last talked to her.
We just checked those things out.
all right.
We'll wait
No
for-
action.
We'll wait
All
for,
right. Item number 2, request approval to extend one truck rental for additional cost of $1,800 for project 93-23-9 Ward 2.
Yeah, this was just to extend the one truck for, 2 days on that project to finish it for the South Loop Canal.
so move.
All right, we got a motion by Mr. Blanchard, second by Mr. McLaren, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 3, request of approval to purchase 5 15-inch culverts for project 93-198 at a total cost of $1,335 or 2.
I spoke to a collaborator today about this one. He wants me to forward all the info to him. So he can create a CEA between him and the property owner. For the use of the culverts. They're gonna be used to drain water from this property that was being held there from work done by us a long time ago in the past.
Where is this at?
It's on the Labrador Drainage Canal on the rear of Mr. Dan Eisen's property.
Is this what the landowner is requesting?
Yeah, for right away.
Part of that project that we went look at?
Yes, yeah.
So what you want to do? You want to make you need a motion now?
Yeah, I would, because I'm just, he asked me to just send him all the info on it. He was gonna create it and give it to Mr. Dan.
Right, let's just make a motion on it right now, and we can proceed once he gets some, get back with Clara. Motion by Mr. Blanchard. Second by Mr. Patero, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 4, discuss the drainage issues behind Lacey Street, Ward 6.
I know Mr. Chris put this on the agenda. It's a 380 feet of a small outfall ditch behind the residence between Lacey Street and Molson Street. Just a project would just be squeezing it out. It's a small amount right there to the Canefield outfall for Highway 403. It's a viable project.
Motion.
You got a total cost of $1,300.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Mathern,
Second.
second by Mr. Blanchard, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 5, discuss drainage issues on Law Street, Ward 7.
Yes, this is, there's gonna be a project to sweep 100 feet of ditch in the lower 20-foot section of culvert that was used to extend, I guess, a driveway culvert a long time ago. We had to lower it a few inches to get water to drain back down Highway 70. It's a viable project.
Leroy, what do you think about putting a cross culvert across on Law Street as also? in the
Well,
front?
So I've discussed it with him. There's some additional work that's gonna go along with this
Okay.
project, that he wasn't familiar with today. We'll revisit this project on a future agenda, but this will get us started
I want
on
to
it.
get this one approved now.
Yes,
All right,
so move.
total cost of $710. Motion by Mr. Blanchard, second by Mr. Mathern, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 6, request approval to sweep the outfall and remove the trees behind Home Run Parkway, Ward 7.
Yeah, this would be sweeping 1,300 feet of outfalls and removing some down trees from the red line section on the diagram. It's a viable project.
Total cost of $1,500. When was the last time we went to do this project? Didn't we do this a couple years ago? or something?
We did one side, we did the north side, so this is gonna be sweeping the south side and the back ditch and getting the trees that fell for the storm.
Total cost of $1,500.
So move.
Motion by Mr. Blanchard, second by Mr. Patero, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
That would be Angela Street. And.
Angela?
No, it's Agnes.
Agnes Street, right?
Yeah.
Right. Item number 7, request approval for a culvert replacement at 118 Agnes Street, Ward 9.
That's, the 12-inch cover, I wanna go with 15-inch covers there,
Yeah, it's just a,
drainage.
it's an old carbon steel piece of, pipe that is there. And we just be going back with regular dual wall culverts, the Bible project.
Is this something the parish put down years ago?
Go cement,
Yeah, it's a-
on cover, we don't know.
Yeah, it's a piece of Schedule 40 carbon steel pipe from somewhere.
We just gotta make sure if a landowner puts down their own culvert, it's a
There's a new land
size.
on it, he just bought it, and, he's, getting ready to do some more work to it. I just wanna change before he put his driveway.
Estimated project cost of $2,285. Motion by Mr. Mathern. Second by Mr. Carter. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 9, discuss dump truck rental to assist in the maintenance of parish ditches.
Skip number 8.
You may say, brother.
Item number 8, request the approval to increase the culvert size from a 12-inch to 15-inch for project 93-242 in the amount of $450, Ward 9.
Yeah, you have a job we're doing back at Angela Street that, I wanna, instead of going with 12, I wanna go with 15 there.
All right, motion by Mr. Mathern,
Second.
second by Mr. Blanchard. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 9, discuss dump truck rental to assist in the maintenance of parish ditches.
So just digging around, I found United Rentals, with their contract with the state, they're allowed to sell used equipment, for a state contract price. We found two, 14-yard Freightliner dump trucks. One's a 2018, one's a 2019, both 14 yards, both automatic. Due to the climate now, I would like to rent them for a 1-month time to kind of test them out, put them through the ringer, see if they'll be in good condition, and then in the future of purchasing them at the end of the rent, we can get both of them for $182,000. And I know we did a resolution to go out for a brand new one for $150,000, and that would just be one truck. So for $180,000, we can get two. Again, I want to rent them just so we can check the condition of them. One has 34,000 miles and the other one has 25,000 miles. So not a lot of miles on the trucks. And it would, to rent them for a month, would be $11,000. And
With both of them?
And like right now, with this road construction we have going on in Bayou Lewis, I mean, through Road and Bridge, I could rent them through Road and Bridge. That's what I would ask, so we could speed that construction process up. And again, for the ditch maintenance also with the purchase of them, because the whole month we would only be going back and forth to Bayou Lewis for maybe a couple of weeks. The rest would just be, they would be paired with an operator and we would get back to doing the maintenance.
United Rentals, you said?
Yeah.
My only question is, the purchase would be under state bid contract,
Yes, not the rent.
not the rent, so.
Well, no, I'm sorry, the rent is also.
There's a provision for it for rental?
Yeah, I could. I have it here. I should have made you a copy of it. Again, I dug it up. He was able to send me a copy of their contract with the used equipment clause on it, and it's from the state. That's part of their contract. They have the permission to do so.
Is the cost of the rental gonna be equity applied to the purchase if we decide to purchase them?
That's one question I did not inquire about.
It should be a certain percentage of it. Normally.
Right now, you shut on dump trucks, right?
Yes, right now, we only have two 14-yard dump trucks, and
That's all we have altogether, or that's all we have in service?
that's all we have in service. We have one, the older 14-yard dump truck that is getting, we have right now to get put back in DOT compliant to have another truck It's a 2004 International. But yeah, currently right now, we just have two 14-yard trucks. Doing this would put us with four. Kind of the way we're spread out now a little bit with a road construction going on in Bayou Lewis, the South Loop thing, and then we just got started back on drainage projects now. I need to have a truck paired up with those guys. I want to have a truck paired up with a guy that can just get back started sweeping ditches because we have the operators now. So it's getting both of them would, again, alleviate a lot of issues.
I make a motion that we do the 1 month rental. And then you evaluate the truck, see what kind of condition they're in. And then come back to the next meeting and see if you wanna look at maybe purchasing.
All right, we got a motion on the floor.
Second.
And,
What's the funding source?
Road and
Road
Bridge.
and Bridge?
So rent 2 dump trucks from United Rentals for 1 month. And Mr. Landry will come back within that month and see, visit Jerry about purchasing. We got a motion by Mr. Carter, second by Mr. Bro. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 10, request update on all drainage projects from the parish manager.
I spoke to a few of y'all, but this week we actually got back started, as little as we can with 2 guys, working the best way they can, and we've done a couple of catch basins that we were catching up on. But with the acquisition of both these trucks, it's gonna allow us to get back started with doing project work again, and along with just regular maintenance. So we will be progressing forward.
I just hope you're right, bro, but we sure behind our work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's the project that was helping those in the Lavateville area? It's coming to a completion to where we can start putting more manpower in other parts of the parish, or how close are? I know you asked for 2 days rental on a truck.
Some working toward forward too. before you
So
move out of that.
I'm sorry, the South Loop Canal is complete. We finished that. The guys have moved on now to the actual Laverdale Drainage Canal, starting at Bruley Road, going towards the Live Oak community. Right now, we just got the 1 calls and all back today, but they had already started removing trees with power saws. And then now that we got the 1 call back, we'd actually start the digging from Bruley Road, moving towards Sophie Street. So everything from the bridge that crosses 1010 on the Bruley Road side of 1010 is gonna get done first. I'm estimating it's probably gonna be a few, I would say at least a week and a half to 2 weeks for them to make it all the way across to do a lot of the prep work. The right of ways that we have from the farmers and the landowner, we're having to do the farm section first. That was the only way they would sign over, let us access it. So we'll be doing the farm section going south. Everything's moving along fine. Just I don't see any hiccups. So
Doing that
Making
section
progress.
first is gonna dump more water on the 1010 bridge. The water's gonna get there quicker.
yes, to the bridge section, yeah.
So that's gonna back up Burley Road even faster.
You said a fall.
Well,
Coming from 398 is what you're talking about, correct?
no, from Bruley Road,
Burley
from
Road,
the Bruley Road side.
Road to Sophie.
okay.
Yeah, the Bruley Road to Sophie Street behind the Live Oak, in Pin Oak community. So the section from the bridge on, again, the section from the bridge coming back to Mr. Dan Ozian's property that's gonna be mitigated to the bridge, with the stuff they're doing now. I mean, they're pulling trees. They actually have a couple of boats that are in there. And with the long reaches of section, that's gonna go from the bridge to the woods itself. That's the 8,000 feet. So again, it's making progress.
And which set is part of the 8,000 that needs to be done first? By landowner request?
No, I don't quote me on the feet. It's a few thousand that are on the Bruley Road side of 1010. So,
Yeah, but that's not the problem, Harry. The problem is across the 1010 bridge, right, Jeff?
Both of them.
yeah, I mean, it's,
Yeah, I understand that they both need to be done, but if the water can't get out fast enough,
I think if you get it to that canal, that's
yeah,
gonna,
like, so the sections
That's
around the
right.
Live Oak community, there are
yeah.
some spots where the canal is only maybe 3 foot wide. It just, I mean, with the sediment in it. So, I mean, it was plugged up from where the section from Bruley Road comes in from the Sophie Street side. Between that T to the bridge was some of those sections that were only 3 foot wide. So we don't have, there's not really anything for the first 100 feet from the bridge to starting behind a residence on the Bruley Road side. So, yeah, I don't think it's gonna really cause any issue. Once it gets to that bridge section, even after the hurricane, it's still pretty free flowing there. It was bottled up a good bit before the bridge.
It gets high enough, it's gonna go. over
Yeah,
trees
yeah,
and
once it
stuff.
gets to the canal, you got a big elevation drop from the bridge going south.
What's the elevation?
I understand what you're saying, digging it from back forward, but the
yeah, the water
immediate,
couldn't get out before, it definitely can't get out now.
but because of what he got going on, where he's working right
Yeah,
now.
It's,
Would you see?
pretty
like
bad.
I say, some it's tight. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
you
a-
got-
They got a ridge.
Yeah.
What's the elevation?
A 6 foot difference from the 1010 road to the swamp, you got 6 foot
6
fall.
foot.
That's what needs to be cleaned first.
Because that ridge is a ridge.
But it can't even get there because of what he's going through right now.
yeah,
It's bad back there.
and again, kind of right now,
Outside
again, we're
1010.
dealing with, there's a lot of intricate things with right of ways and some property owners. And or for the sake of progress, in order to get them to sign for us to have access to it, there's sometimes we gotta do what we gotta do and kind of appease them. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah. it's
Just
our
so-
property.
Yeah,
I think
again,
we're going about that the backwards, but. All right. Any more, Aaron?
no, sir.
Anybody got anything on drainage? Before we close on?
Do we want to revisit number 1? No?
Yes, sir. Update on Lower Texas, Mount Ray, Conshan Road and Himalaya.
Apologize, I was trying to get here before y'all started. We do have some good news. We received, word today that they sent up for approval of the general programmatic permit for the Himalaya Canal. And, that was forwarded today. She was trying to get us signed signatures by this afternoon. They basically, when I spoke to her on the phone, she said if she doesn't get them by this afternoon, which I checked, we usually get that email pretty quickly. She expected them by no later than tomorrow. So once we have that, I'll be delivering that to the jury. And then we'll look at whatever stipulations we have in the general program permit. We'll apply that to the plans, and then we'll be submitting those for approval to go to bid.
When will we get it?
Hmm?
When will we get the permit? Tomorrow?
She's indicating that we would have a signed permit possibly tomorrow.
Where is she located?
She's located in Baton Rouge. They're gonna send it electronically.
Well,
It'll be sent electronically. They don't issue, paper anymore.
Anything else, Mr. Bro?
I was looking at some of the allocations for Ward 4 here on the drainage.
Thank you, Joe.
The 40,000, that's cleaning the here and that's cleaning the around Fontaine Road now. It was November 21st to 23.
Say it again, Mr. Charles.
That was one more time. Look at, do you have it there?
Yes, sir.
The 40,000. The 23rd, that was the closing off. I was just wondering what was that for? That was for cleaning around the levee and all and the canal on Conshan Road.
Right, wasn't that a labor originally done?
Yes, that was the labor that was a portion of it. There should only be $19,000, I think, left existing, right,
That's
Ken?
part of it.
We spoke previously about the labor that was charged to the Parish project.
I don't know, fine, I'll have to check.
So
Okay.
that was the
That was
work that
phase
was done
one,
when
when
we
we
were
did.
renting the long reach.
And the long
You'll
reach, but
finish
that's
up.
only less labor on it.
Right.
So they used 19,000 something dollars of labor. So there's remaining like 20 or a little bit more
Expensive, you know, just-
left off on the project.
The one goes way back, went to year 19. Yeah. 24. Sweep, the strip, they supported that project, you sweeping it up.
The sweep out falls in Warford, and that was, one of them, including the Georgia road we did.
The Georgia Road, yeah.
Yes, sir.
This one. I'm checking that other thing I told you about.
All right, that's it. Motion to adjourn. Motion by Mr. Blanchard, second by Mr. Patterson. All in favor? Any opposed? Any adjourned?
It's 4:36, we'll get the personnel committee meeting started. Let the record reflect all members are present. Item 1, request authorization for accountant to earn excess K-time hours needed in preparation of the 2024 audit and be paid by any hours in excess of 240 hours.
Yes, again, we are behind on audit prep. And in order to try to catch up, we're gonna need the accountant to work extra time, and she's already at her excess K-time hours, so we need to be able to pay in excess of this. Leroy can talk further on this. He was part of the meeting that we had with our auditors in preparation. Part of the increased billing for the 2023 audit was as a result of us having to do the extension. They had resources allocated and then they had to pull them off and then reallocate. So we're trying to be more proactive this year to get ahead of it a little bit. But we do feel this is necessary.
Right, without working the extra time, there's no way that, we'd have to file for an extension again for 24. So, there's no guarantee that we can get it done before the deadline now, but this will give us the avenue to have her complete as much work as possible to try to get it done timely and not have to request an extension.
And there's no guarantee that an extension would be granted 2 years in a row.
Motion approved.
Motion by Mr. Nakane,
Second.
second by Mr. Bruce,
So you ain't on.
Second.
second by Mr. Carter. All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays?
Kim, just for question,
Mhm.
How many more extra hours would that put on that accountant per week? Cause I mean, she's at her max with her case, so I know everything is overtime. What you looking at, extra 10, 15 hours a week? Putting it at minimum?
And then. Yeah. And she was working that now, and she was out last year because of an illness and the death in the family, but yet she built back up to the 240, so now she's ready to exceed that 240. Which basically leans us into item number 2, which
Item
is,
two.
So we have the second accountant that we hired to help start training with Miss Melissa, the original accountant. And now we have that second accountant. We feel that she's in a position now where she has certain tasks that have been assigned to her and she's grasped those tasks. So we need to get another accountant in here so she can train that person on those tasks. So then she can get with Melissa on additional tasks.
So you want to hire another accountant?
Yes.
Are you gonna put her?
I'll put them in the cubby upstairs. Where Megan was, the grants
And
coordinator.
her main job is to do what? I mean, what would be her main task?
Accounting.
Just a straight
It's
accounting?
this is still, Melissa's position has to be split up into 2 positions. Right now, we have someone cross-training for her position, but she is now her task, her week is full with the tasks she has. So she can't even get additional tasks with those tasks. So we have to take those tasks and train somebody else. And the accountant that has those tasks has also been pulled in to take some of the slack from the other new accountant who's not fulfilling all those tasks. The volume of work is tremendous, and the number of employees that we have now are not getting it done. We're gonna need extra. We're gonna need more, and it's stepping to try to get it ready.
This is gonna come from 1%.
They're coming from 1% general fund, both.
So moved.
Gotta get it done.
Motion by Mr. Blanchard. Second by Mr. Palmville, all in favor?
Aye.
Your nays?
So when you gonna go out to advertise?
Or the next day.
Item 3, request approval to end 6-month probationary period for Special Programs Director effective February 10th, 2025.
So move.
Motion by Ms. Nakam,
Second.
second by Mr. Carter, all in favor?
Aye.
Your nays? Item 4, request approval to hire general maintenance worker grade 5, step 19.
It would be number 3 on the paper. Here you go. My recommendation.
So move.
Motion by Mr. Nakam,
Second.
second by Mr. Palmville, all in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Pass. Item 5, request approval to hire equipment operator 2, grade 5, step 18.
Yeah, number 1, my recommendation.
So move.
Motion by Mr. Nakam,
Second.
second by Mr. Carter, all in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Motion pass. Item 6, request approval to hire operator 3, grade 5, step 28.
That'd be number 2, and that's my recommendation.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Palmville,
Second.
second by Mr. Nakam, all in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Motion pass.
Gentlemen, I just want to say that these people are being hired and there's no discussion or question about the budget at all.
Thought they was getting with you on the budget.
They have.
Aaron, when you supposed to get with Ms. Kim on the budget?
I was just told to tell Mr. Mike.
Huh?
I was just told to give it Mike.
Say that again?
Then I told you to get with her later on.
You may have, that's my
Just said it in the
fault.
meeting.
Right, I thought I assumed how that happened.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I'm and look, also, like, revisiting it now, like, once these guys start, then reevaluating where we're at. These were just replacing people that we've already had. There's really no new addition. So,
Okay.
yeah, there's no new addition. This is really getting us back to one step below where we
Where we
started.
were.
Are you up to full capacity with your operators? I think last meeting you had about 2 or 3.
Yeah, so like these were 2 additional ones, with that's why I'm saying, let me get them started and I'm gonna I started this, again, making a list and reevaluating again where people are and what's going on. As of now, there may be room for a couple of more, again, with additional equipment or trucks is kind of another thing that we solved with that, so.
Okay, in the meantime, get with Ms. Kim
Yeah, any new
on
hire.
the budgets. See where you at. Personnel.
Understood.
Alright, item 7, discuss raise increases for 2025.
I don't think we should be discussing that until we have a budget meeting. Straight up. Not on the committee, but
I'll make a motion, we go into executive session.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Blanchard, second by Mr. Palmville, all in favor?
As long as you're discussing financial issues and not
Personal-
individual
per people.
performance of
Correct.
individual.
Correct.
Motion to go back to.
Motion to
Second.
go back in regular session by Mr. Nakane, second by Mr. Carter, all in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Enter back in regular session.
As it relates to, employee raises for 2025, we had originally budgeted 3%, average across the board for all employees, but due to the concerns that we have for the budget, we're gonna scale that back some. So, this time I'll make a motion that the raises proposed for the employees that are based on an average increase of 1.6%. That's not each employee, that's an average across all employees. 1.6%, and it is scaled based on department head recommendations and their evaluations of their employees.
Motion by Mr. Blanchard,
Second.
second by Mr. Carter, all in favor?
Aye.
And I asked the personnel chair to send that list to Secretary Treasurer so that she can implement.
And could she please, each individual department head, could you send them their stuffs for their employees too as well?
Always.
All right, cool. So they can know, they can tell it.
We have to, they,
There you go. All right.
Item 8, in favor?
No.
Item 8, cap parish employees not to exceed $100,000 per year.
All right, I'll put that on the agenda, looking 20 years from now for the parish to be in hopefully a good, financial standings. I'm asked that we, cap parish employees not to exceed, I'm asked that we move it to $105,000 a year. And that's a motion.
Motion by Mr. Ponville,
I like to second that motion. I know, probably won't succeed, but I think we need to take a look at this somewhere down the line and come up with something before we find ourselves in a situation that's later on. I make the second.
second by Mr. Carter, all in favor?
All right,
Nays?
Hey. Count them again.
I said one.
ayes,
Aye.
All in favor?
1, 2,
2, 3.
Any names?
4.
Chris, Jamie, Leroy.
and I'll.
You're not, mine not on there. You're not on the committee. You're not on the committee, Okay, the nays.
Nays?
Nay.
Yeah.
Can you ask a question on this matter?
The what?
Can we ask?
Not while we voting.
All right, motion passed.
Motion adjourned.
Now, can I ask a question?
We have one,
You got a question now?
Oh, I mean, if you have an instance where an employee is at the end, say they got 25 years and they make a certain amount of money, and we got a storm event that's going on, you might be working 2 or 3 months. Do you stop working at $105,000 and go home?
Basically, what we're saying, salary rise.
Base salary.
So it has
Base
nothing
salary.
to do with
So
an
on
overtime
overtime,
employee.
you still can exceed it on overtime.
But nobody said salary, but it wasn't,
Base.
okay. I just wanted to ask.
And I just want to make a comment. I started in this position in 2000, so I'm in year 26. And I started at $30,000 a year. So after 25 of going on 26 years of commitment and not a negative write-up in my file, this is where we end up, and that's fine. But you will never find a replacement at the cost of living. Somebody that's gonna come in my position is gonna expect to make $70,000 to $80,000. And when they know that they have a cap on their position, they will not be interested and you will not get longevity.
Agree.
I agree.
We'll bring it back up to.
Yeah, bring it up. Like, motion to adjourn.
We have one deviation.
What you got, Paul?
Administrative assistant field worker,
Motion DV.
motion by Mr. Carter.
In his week.
No.
I asked for your assistance on this because Ms. Carroll, the assistant's gonna be leaving on the February 27th. So, it's by the time we get through the hiring process and all the different, background checks and that type of stuff, I needed to be for a couple of weeks.
Second by Mr. Blanchard. All in favor?
Aye.
Gentlemen, I interviewed 5, applicants for this position, and it was a tough decision, because I had two or three applicants that were very skilled and very knowledgeable and all fit my needs. But my decision was Miss Danielle Miles, and that's at grade 5, step 14. She can start immediately.
Motion to approve, Ms. Miles.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Nakane, second by Mr. Porter. All in favor? Public comment? Going once, public comment twice, 3 times.
All contingent upon pre-employment testing.
Yes, ma'am. And I apologize to the jury. The dates on which Miss Carroll was leaving I misinterpreted that. I thought she was going in the middle of March. Then it came out that she was going in the end of February, and that's what kind of caught me off guard. I apologize for that.
Motion to adjourn.
No,
Motion by Mr. Blanchard.
You gotta call for the vote, call for the vote.
Call for the vote.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Aye.
Nay.
Nay. Already called for motion in a second.
You did. You
Yeah, we had to
seconded.
vote.
You got it up.
Motion to adjourn.
No motion.
Motion by Mr. Porter, second by Mr. Ponder. All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.
Road Road and Bridge Committee meeting. Let the record reflect that all members are present. We have one item on the agenda, request approval to place fire hydrant on Cousin Street. I think it's Ward 9.
Well, no, I put this on the agenda, guys. Cousin Street, all their water meters is at the main beginning of the highway. On their mama's property, and they probably will be selling their mama's property. So what they did, they went ahead and, got Joseph Salvador, engineered them a 16-inch water line down that street. And they go pay for the water line, they go pay for everything, and of course, the fire, nothing. I like to assist them with fire hydrant down the street, and they go install it, we just gotta drop it off, and Don Rose go give a letter, support that he could tell her where the fire hydrant need to go at. Ain't gonna cost us fire opinion.
So I know we have the fire hydrant program going on. I know we're gonna have some extra hydrants. I would ask that Mr. Paul, deliver that hydrant wherever it has to go.
Salvador, go where it goes.
Wherever it go, I mean, deliver it, because we don't want nobody coming on our property messing with our hydrant, so we'll put Mr. Paul in the point of contact to deliver the hydrant wherever it needs to go at.
Why, Mr. Paul?
This is a new development or this is
That's
existing?
old subdivision, it's old street.
Because I think he was working along with Joseph with the fire hydrant program.
It's an existing, it is a parish street. It's an existing parish street. It is in the parish system. It just never had a public water line. And so once they're finished this, they are gonna be, this all just transpired this past week. We're gonna become presenting it first we have to present it to the waterworks, to be taken or accepted into their system once we have it designed to their standards. At which time we also present it to you all, because I think it would have to be accepted as part of your system, but it is an accepted public street. They were just asking for assistance with it being a public street, if they could have some assistance with the hydrant itself.
But based on the letter from the chief, he's in support of this hydrant. Once we're done with this hydrant project,
Yeah.
we're gonna have
That's
hydrants
something-
left over, so if he wants
yeah.
to put one there,
Might as well.
it's really not up to the jury. It's
And
gonna
it
be
is
up
one
to,
that's gonna be needed, because I mean,
it's
an
gonna be based on the fire chief's priority for any hydrants that we had left over. I really don't know that this is a
I'll
matter
make
for
a
the jury
motion.
to consider. It's, we have to get through the fire hydrant project.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I thought about.
It's our fire hydrant, so we just gotta make the approval to, say we're gonna give him one.
Just make the motion. So
They're,
I'll support it.
they're handling they're paying for the install with a licensed
We paying for
contractor.
everything.
I'm gonna second Morris' motion.
All right, motion by Mr. Mathur, second by Mr. Ponville, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, ayes have it, meeting adjourned.
Finance committee meeting, let the record reflect all members are present. Request approval to pay list of bills submitted through February 6, 2025. They're included in your packet.
No move.
Motion by Mr. Nakane,
Second.
second by Mr. Carter. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Next item, discuss remaining Gomesa funds.
Yes, I put that on the agenda. I know, we had $2 million that we had put up for matching funds. And I know Leroy had a project on Brewley St. Martin, Gerald Street, which you wanted to use 25% of that for matching funds. I think it's been deemed that we can't use those funds for matching funds because it's federal. I think Melissa also helped out with, well, Mercer to confirm that. So that leave us with a balance of $1,887 left in Go Mesa funds. I know that we haven't been using this money, and if we don't use it, we gotta pay a penalty every year that we don't use it. And there's several jurors have projects that's ready to go. A lot of y'all have drainage problems that need to be fixed. I just think that it could be a wise decision for the jury to go on allocate this money to some projects. Let's use it and not pay penalty on money that we just got sitting there. And we can actually use it in support of Parish.
I agree with that. I mean, that Lauderdale drainage
We
canal
like
is
to
a
keep
prime project.
Mount.
That ring levy is prime project.
All that project.
There
you go.
I don't have enough with this amount for my projects, but I have to get them started. It's been delayed too damn
We
long.
all got projects
I
up,
don't wanna
Mr.
hold
Charles.
this money.
We all gotta
for my
move on it.
project.
I'll take the 1.8.
Yeah.
So, what, you're saying that it cannot be used as a match?
That's according to Melissa saying that can't use federal money to match federal money. That's what she's saying. She contacted Go Mesa
That's cool.
and they confirmed it.
I understand that, but I believe that allocation was made to those two specific projects to put that money towards those projects to get them started. I don't think there's a qualifier that we have to have a bigger project to match.
What you mean a bigger project? I said it's a bigger project to match. So you saying that you allocate this to that project to get it started?
Yes.
No, this money here was set
Those
aside.
projects have already been started.
Okay, it might have been started, but it wouldn't started with this 1.8 million.
1.8 million was
Was
put
set
on
aside for matching
money
funds.
only.
That's what the jury approved.
Exactly what we did. Match money only.
I'd have to
Right, Eddie?
revisit the allocations because I believe that we changed that later, but
We did not.
I can't see we take any action right now. I don't have the list of the allocations that we made or the time frame that we made them.
We'll put it back on the next
We'll
one.
put it back on the next agenda, after everybody take a look at it.
All right, so, item 2 is tabled. Next item, request approval to purchase a Case CX 145 excavator in the amount of $192,431.69 and identify funding source.
Going back to United Rentals again, we reached out and we located a 2018 145. Went, checked it out. It's got some cosmetic issues, nothing mechanical. The engine has no blow by. There's no slack in any pins. It's got 3,700 hours, but again, there's nothing. It seems to be in working order. What I would like to do is rent it for a month for $5,000. Put it through the ringer, get it working, check it out, and then we would have the option to buy, again, state contract for $90,000 instead of 192 for a brand new one. That's what I'm proposing.
What's the funding source?
We already got a funding source, right?
Well, we have, if you remember, Mr. Pat Gordon mentioned to us the LAGAP funding, the additional that's owed to the parish after we get through. I believe that timeline is coming up in March,
That was 200,000 additional funding.
approximately.
Yes.
I mean,
After, it comes after, we did,
After the original
after the
submission.
original one, yeah, so it's still not guaranteed, but we can shoot for it.
No,
Just
from
don't
what I
know when.
understand, it's just a matter of applying for it. We just haven't applied for it in the past.
We didn't give them.
We
This is the
know
first
about
we
it.
ever heard
We
of it.
know
I don't-
about it.
I'm curious to see
I
if this really
disagree that
pans
it's the
out.
first we've ever heard of it, because actually,
brought it up
Brian
on
brought this up a
application.
couple of years ago.
Absolutely, because it said we were allotted 100,000, but on the second page of the documentation, it said Assumption Parish can also get up to 150,000 on this particular one.
If no other municipalities.
Correct.
And no other, cities or municipalities inside that.
But we never got
package.
notification saying that it was available.
It's there, it's on the application. And
Would like
it's
that
also with the
notification.
village getting their portion of it.
Right, but I think that would be the best funding source for additional equipment.
Capital.
Okay, let's get on and do the rental and see how it works and get a good mechanic to check the equipment out because we're gonna pay that kind of money for something. We wanna make sure. it's in good
Yeah.
shape.
I squared that away with the rep there. If we go ahead and do it, they're gonna take it in itself.
Any warranty?
I'm not sure. I didn't ask that
Find
question.
out.
I'll find out.
on the warranty.
Motion approved, 1 month's rental.
From,
Road bridge.
Second that motion.
We have a motion by Mr. Nakam to fund 1 month's rental in the amount of $5,000 out of Road and Bridge, second by Mr. Carter. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. I do have one deviation, from, mosquito abatement. It is time sensitive. We're 5 days from the end of our, the contract that we have. Excuse me,
Motion DB.
auto renew. Motion deviated by Mr. Carter, second by Mr. Bro. All in favor? All right. Justin, you want to give us a little bit more
Yeah,
background?
so, it was an annual bid, we accepted it on December 18th. You're supposed to sign the contract within 60 days. I let them know that when we accepted the bid that, I needed the contract. I put it in my email to try to remember. I'm going back through my emails today and I'm like, okay. So we have at 55 days right now, so we have to get it signed in the next 5 days of rebid.
was it for chemicals?
No, it's
Annual
for
aerial
aerial
spraying.
spraying, contingency spraying if there's another storm.
He insists this will not happen again.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it on my
This is the
calendar instead
second
of just an
time.
email.
Motion
Well,
to approve.
I didn't know about it last.
Okay,
Motion approved by Mr. Alcorn,
Second.
second by Mr. Bro. Any public comment? Second call.
Mr. Brown.
Mr. Brunot,
I got the motion.
no.
What's that?
I'll make the second.
Motion by Mr. Alcorn, or Mr. Nakam is actually second, so we're gonna give Mr. Nakam a second on that one. No public comment? Last call. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Motion adjourned by Mr. Alcorn,
Second.
second by Mr. Ponjo. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned.
All right, move right along. Engineering Grants Committee meeting, call to order. All, record reflect all members are present. Update from GIS Engineering, Jolie Moore, Bertrand Bill, Bell Rose.
Yeah, good afternoon, jurors. Dwayne Day on GIS Engineering, have Troy Joffre, excuse me. He's also with us. He's heading up the Constant Canal project, so probably just in case anybody has any questions regarding that. Joe Lamar, there's no updates regarding that. Bertrandville, the contract was recorded today. We'll be setting up pre-con next week and issue a notice to proceed within 2 to 3 weeks, contingent on the contractor's availability. Belrose Lane, the last board meeting, Leroy had mentioned, possibly rescoping that project.
Aaron, do you know, did you put out for advertisement for 30-day bid on the culverts?
They're gonna be going on next week. That one and the snagging one.
Okay, and, regarding, we sent in a proposal for amendment, January 14th, for the engineering and construction admin services to proceed, for Constant Canal.
This question amendment to the contract with GIS Engineering to include design, services, and construction administration for the Constant Canal project.
Can you give us an update on the Constant Canal project? I know we've had some conference calls recently with,
Sure.
Okay.
Again, my name's Troy Johnfro, the project manager for the project. Currently, we've completed the H&H study on the project to figure out the best drainage solution for clearing out the lower end of the canal and redigging it and actually redoing a little bit of the upper end of the canal to get the drainage under the bridge right there to drain a little bit better. So that was our recommendation, push forward with the H&H report we put together on that. So with that, our current contract only brought us through the survey and doing the H&H report to get a better handle on what the actual design would be to get a better feel for what the design fees would be. And so that's what we've
put forth in that proposal.
So could you spell your name for me?
Last name, Jean Freeau.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
And also not on the agenda, but was the Plottenville drainage, just update Ms. Alcorn, the Davis Bacon is still in compliance and contractors receptive and no issues there.
Appreciate that. I think we also have something we need to add to the Plottenville drainage project. I'm glad you brought that up, Dwayne. Joseph, you have something?
Yes, that's correct. That project was one of the last ones that was bid as tax exempt. And, the general contractor has a subcontractor that needs a tax exempt form. We've already provided the general with the tax exempt forms, but he needs one for a sub that has to purchase some additional materials. It was brought up tonight, because we're trying to keep him moving. And that would be for, Terrio's dozer service out of Pierpont.
So,
And just requesting approval for the president to sign the tax exempt forms.
Can we have a little discussion about this? Is it the wish of this jury to make all construction projects tax exempt?
I think it was part of the contract, wasn't it?
Well, I know, but it's being put out that way without authorization from this board. And there's other taxing bodies that are losing money on this, not just us. So we've had in the past inquiries about that. So Melissa and I are like, we're not supposed to be making that decision, and we don't feel contractors should be making that decision. We feel this board should be making that
So
decision.
who made that decision from the start of this project?
On this particular project, I went back and looked at the documents, the front end documents. We had two agencies participating in funding in this project. That was capital outlay and restore.
American
say
Recovery
Recovery Act.
Funds.
Recovery funds.
No, Joseph, it's Go-Mesa money. Not
Go-Mesa
none of
money.
Yeah, it's Go-Mesa money.
Okay, well, the front end documents that we were supplied, there's a specific clause in that document that says this project will be tax exempt. And that clause came from that agency. So whether it should have been changed or requested to be changed prior to that, I don't know. I don't have an answer for that, but in the current state of this particular project, it was already advertised and bid in that fashion, so we had to kind of stay the
So
course.
have
We
to stay
understand
that
from
way
here
with this
moving
project, but
forward.
moving forward, we need to know what y'all
We need
want
to know
do.
how to address it so
Right.
that if it does come from either a federal agency or state agency or some other funding source, we need to know so that we can address it with them ahead of time before bidding the project.
Yeah, because we don't want to find out after the project has been awarded and.
And that's why we're not trying to backpedal this when we have to move forward as it was.
You have no choice now.
Yeah.
I'm not on the committee, but, I like.
Motion
the-
Make a motion so he can sign.
What's the motion?
Sign the,
Approve the president to sign, tax exempt forms for dozer Terrio service.
Those are Terrio service.
Or any other subs for that.
Or
matter.
subcontractors under.
Subcontractors.
Pertaining to that specific
Yes.
project.
Correct.
Now, what could happen if we go out for 30-day bid with the sewer projects and all that money was federal money and it has that same clause?
We need
No.
to.
He can check, that's what we're getting at. We may be able to address that with that agency now before it bids, but in this particular case, we had already bid.
But we don't know if that's a federal requirement. That just was in that document.
It was in the documents that we sent. We can pull them and I'll send them to whoever's handling the documents for that one and then let them, they can.
All right, that's a motion by
I mean,
by you, motion by Mr. Bonville, second. By Mr. Burrow, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carries.
Well, Mr. Chair, we need a motion for that amendment. of
Yes,
contract.
yes. So motion to request an amendment to the contract with GIS.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Diaz. Second by Mr. Burrow, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Is it?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dwayne. Appreciate it.
Update from the Planners Design Group.
they haven't been coming to the meeting at all.
No, they need to start, can maybe send them a letter to start attending the meeting, please?
They got their money.
Charles Street levy project, anything, ring levies in Fairport, nothing.
I've never been out here, we ain't got nothing.
about, update from Infinity Engineering and Parish-wide sewer projects.
I sent him an email, but I have no idea if he plans to attend or not. I don't have his contact.
Tuesday might happen.
Going off, yeah.
All right, next.
Hey, Brian, right there.
He's on.
Oh. Hey, Brian, any update for the jury?
Oh, okay, there must have been some lag. I was watching it on YouTube. I was getting ready. I do have some updates. I wasn't able to attend last meeting. Apologize. I did send an email the day in the morning after, responding to some of those comments. So hopefully you've all read that. Ebony sent me a document that I think she presented that night, and there was some information in there about the front ends, that things that we've been waiting on. There was some things in there that we can use. There's some things that we have comments on. I'll just go through them. One of them said that the engineering firm should send the advertisement directly to, I think it's called the Bayou Journal. In our contract, it actually states that, and it's in the Exhibit B, Section P, that the parish is to place and pay for the advertisement in appropriate publications. That's something we typically never do. It's almost always on the owner to advertise the project. We were given some advertisement dates of each Tuesday to run it in that publication. It was February 4th, February 11th, February 18th. We revised those to March 4th, March 11th, March 18th, which are also all Tuesdays. We did a pre-bid meeting. Well, it was originally scheduled for February 11th. We revised it to April 2nd at 2 p.m., which is a Wednesday. And the address that we were given is the Road and Bridge Safe Room on Highway 1008. Typically, that's in a procurement office. So if we can double check that address, if that location is where y'all want to have it, we can do that. The bid opening date, we selected March 4th. We received April 2nd. No, I'm sorry. Pre-bid, we revised to April 2nd. Bid opening, we revised from March 4th to April 16th. I was just listening about the tax exemption stuff. We do have documents in there for tax exemption for this project, but I'm not sure if it is actually tax exempt, especially without the water sector funding. So I think that's something we need to check into. There was a comment in there that said documents should be submitted in Word format as it regards to the advertisement. And it was kind of unclear, is that just the bid advertisement, or is there other documents that need to be submitted in Word format? The next comment is, given this is usually prepared by the engineer, recommend updating what needs to be updated for Parish. That's referring to the general and supplementary conditions. Typically, we receive those from the parish or the owner. At the moment, we're just gonna, and what we received from the parish was, I think it was called the Lee Paving Project. It was like a roadway project. And y'all used EJ CDC general and supplemental conditions. They were dated from 2007. The most recent ones we could find were dated 2015. So we're gonna go ahead and swap those out, but it definitely needs to be reviewed by the parish to see if it's compliant with, the way the parish does things. The next one is, it said, we'll defer to the expertise of the engineering firm, and it's referring to DBE percentage and the documentation that goes with it for CDBG. Now that the water sector funding is being foregoed, I'm not even sure if CDBG requirements are applicable for this project. And if you look at section 00200-8, it references, it's item 25.3, it references these two documents, certification by proposed subcontractor regarding equal employment opportunities, and subcontractor certification concerning labor standards and prevailing wage documents. We don't have those documents. We've searched through several projects and haven't been able to find them, but they are called out in this front end spec, which is the instructions to bidders. So that would be a form that they would have to fill out and submit, but we don't have it to provide to them to fill out. And so we're gonna make a few of those changes. We've updated those dates. And I just want to make it clear that like it's critically important that the parish review the entire front end document package, just to make sure that it's in compliance with what the parish wants to do. These aren't decisions we can make for y'all, and it would be it's really the entire package, but especially things as bonding and insurance requirements. We can't decide what the parish deems appropriate for those type of items. So I just really want to stress that, and I don't have any other updates besides that.
All right. Any back?
Yeah,
About
you
every
did, Brian, you did say, bid openings would be April 16th, is that correct?
Yeah, so we just picked some dates. The dates that we were recommended to, like pre-bid would be today, and obviously that's not going to work. So we just revised them to what we thought was appropriate. So we were saying advertise March 4th, 11th, 18th, pre-bid on April 2nd, and the bid opening, which is when the bids are received and opened, would be April 16th.
Usually we have bid openings, in Mr. Paul LeBlanc's office in his conference room, which is in OEP. I don't know the address, Mr. Paul. I don't know if you have something going on that day. If that is the day we're gonna, have, bid openings. Normally we go up in the OEP in your conference room, and that's where the bids are open. So
Yeah,
I
I
don't
mean,
know how, Road and Bridge Department got involved in it, that address. but-
They asked for an address real quick before last meeting, so we
Okay.
sent them our normal yearly bid place, which is here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been done at both places, Ron. It doesn't,
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't matter to us where we do it. We just want to make sure that's where y'all want to do it.
Ron, Secretary of Treasury got a question for you.
Sure.
You're referencing the front end bid documents that the parish needs to do up. Have you provided them to anyone in the parish? So
We
can-
we submitted a complete package, and in the meantime, I've been saying, they're not actually complete. So once we get all this stuff nailed down, we'll resubmit. We've already made some changes, things that I didn't mention that were in the document that was provided to us on the 29th, that we don't need a question, and we're just going to include them. But some of these other things we do need to be provided for, and we can resubmit what we have now just for your review. But like
Where
I
did you
said,
submit it? Where did you submit it?
this was submitted to Rieta and Brian in a OneDrive link. You have to download it.
Okay.
I mean, I could send it if I get everybody's email. If somebody could send me y'all's emails, I could send it directly to everybody.
I'll get with Rayette and Brian.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, any other questions? Is it Brian?
That's it.
Sure. Talk to you next meeting.
Yes, sir.
All right. Update from the council branch coordinator.
She's not here, but I guess she needs this. Oh,
Discuss,
this was presented to her, so she put this on the agenda.
discuss memorandum change of procurement methods, blackout period for crossing canal and Bayou St. Vincent project.
From my understanding, ELOS wanted to go out for bid and they wanted to include this blackout period in it. And that's not part of our policy, so we thought it needed to go before this jury to approve that because it does affect you all and your communication with contractors for any projects. So, if you look at the methods for conducting technical evaluations handout that you may have in front of you, or item number 4. It talks about the, referencing the blackout period And, Lacey Lendrum, our grant manager, provided this to us to make sure everyone had a clear understanding of what the blackout period is and what it covers. And, the proposed language in the RFQ. Obviously, we didn't want it to put it in the RFQ. It's not current policy. So you all have to decide if this will be current policy. And if it is, then you all have to live by this. The blackout period specifically states from the date the RFQ is first published until the date when the contract is awarded or all submittals are rejected, the named single point of contact will be the only person authorized to discuss this RFQ. No other parish staff or police jurors may be contacted about this RFQ during the active blackout period. Such contact by a potential respondent may result in that respondent's submittal package being disqualified. The purpose of the blackout period is to avoid confusion, ensure that respondents' questions are answered quickly and consistently, and provide all respondents with the same information and a fair opportunity.
I like it, Mr. Chair. I like it. I looked at it, I read the email that was sent to Rihanna that she sent to us. I like the blackout period because it leaves us out of it. I did put something on the agenda. I think it's at the end of an item number 12. So now we're talking about the blackout period, which is good. It leaves us out of it. That's why I feel as though, and I know we talked about this some time ago about the evaluation method and the evaluation team. So now it puts us on an even wavelength to not have anything, no political influence, because we can't talk to nobody because the engineering firm will be disqualified. So now in the policy, I would like to propose the blackout period. And also, if you read the handout that was sent, I asked Katie to print out for everybody. In the policy for methods for conducting technical evaluation, in the first bullet point, now the evaluation team can be the board, can be the makeup of the police jury governing body, and it can be that designee from the parish. And the members, if you read it, can only be selected until after the bid day, the bid opening to review. I mean, not the bid opening, but when the RFQ or the RFP date is up, and then the team can be selected. It can be any 4 jurors. We do have engineers that is on this jury. I think that looking at these resumes for various projects is just a resume. And I think we need to take ownership and be a part of the evaluation team. So
number 4, number 12.
I'm on number 4 and number 12. I put them together, brother.
Way ahead.
Yeah, but it's talking about the same thing.
What's wrong with our system now?
Well, if you just heard Ms. Torres,
Let's deal
they
with
got a
number
lot
4.
going on, so.
Oh, no.
Let's deal with
Say
number
that's
4.
why.
So, but I'm not on the committee, but I like the
Let's deal
blackout
with
period.
number 4 right now.
I like it. I like it. I like it.
Discuss and change program blackout period for that particular project.
No,
Yeah.
this would be adopted into our
It'll be
manual
adopted into
and
it.
have to be followed
I
for
like it.
all projects.
What's wrong with our system?
I think this blackout period, I guess it came from Laws. I'm not sure if it came.
It did come from
Laws.
Elizabeth. I had a
Yeah.
very extensive
Uh-huh.
conversation with her about it. It's a policy that she said most municipalities use now. And what it does, it separates, it stops the potential bidders from approaching anyone that can make a decision about the project and influencing them in any inappropriate way. It takes that out completely, but it also forces only one person to answer questions. So they're not getting answers from this guy, answers from that guy. No one has an advantage because they've gotten some information and that information wasn't shared with the other bidders. So this just limits the contact to one person, and it does not exclude you from communicating with those potential bidders for any other projects that are going on. It's exclusive to the project that's in that RFQ and any questions related to that RFQ.
Who would be the single point of contact? Who makes that decision?
In the current one that we were putting out for Bayou St. Vincent, it would be Rayetta.
Or the grant administrator through ELOS.
Well, but the question, the parish contact would be Rayetta, and then she would relay those questions to ELOS.
To the ELOS contact.
Gotcha.
That point of contact could change.
All right. So this memorandum right here. Do I get a motion to?
This
For
is just
the
a memo
procurement
that she was providing, giving information about the change. Basically, if it's going to be accepted, then it needs to be accepted by this jury and the personnel policy amended to reflect the inclusion.
All right. So, that being said, we just wanna go to,
Maybe one question I have for you, Kim. So we had it, I see, it's proposed in the methods for conducting technical evaluations. But wouldn't we want this included also in
I don't know who did
public
this.
works
I did
bids?
it.
I didn't do this. I don't
I
know
did
who
that.
did it.
I did that.
I'm just thinking, we may need to have it in the policy manual in an additional location where it addresses any public works projects that are out for bid. Not just the technical evaluation. I think it should apply to
Everything.
everything that we go out to bid for,
I'm
for
good with
example,
that
the sewer project.
Go with that too.
So I'm just not sure, what would be the best section in the manual to include it, or if it just needs to be included twice.
15?
No.
Yeah. All right, so,
Any motion?
when in action, any action?
I make a motion that we, modify the personnel policy manual to reflect a blackout period for, bidding of public works projects and technical evaluation.
Motion by Mr. Blanchard. That second.
Second.
Drainage as well, not just public works, like anything.
Well, he might have a project, so you can't exclude him, huh?
Well,
Oh, you can't exclude him, because he got big projects coming up.
Bid site, I mean, would that be relevant?
Would it be for any construction
Construction
project?
project, yeah.
Construction, any
Yeah,
construction,
any
construction,
no matter what
parish
department.
construction, construction or technical evaluation.
Yeah.
Motion made by Mr. Blanchard, second by Mr. Brewer, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
One nay. Motion carries. All right, next item is update for South Central Planning Development Commission, discuss administration, restore funds.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Leslie Long, Regional Planner and Brownfield Program Manager at South Central Planning. I apologize that Pat Gordon was unable to make it tonight, so I'm filling in for him, and I'll be going through the line items we have listed. However, he will be attending on the next meeting to update you on the other projects that are listed. To first start off with the administration of the Restore funds. With the Restore funds, I know Pat had been in communication with President Blanchard regarding the Restore project. Basically with that one, it's just South Central Planning will be overseeing the development of that implementation plan. And so it just needs basically approval or authorization for South Central Planning to add it to our existing project list.
Right, so with, the action that the jury would need to take now is just to authorize South Central Planning to develop this, action plan. I'm not sure the official title of it.
Yes, it's actually a multi-year implementation plan.
So with this, multi-year implementation plan, I think there's a period that it has to be advertised. We have to have community meetings, have some community engagement to identify projects. But in order for us to spend the restore dollars that have been allocated to the parish, this plan has to be in place. That's step one. So, we need someone to do it. So that's what we asked him now. South Central, he had asked me to authorize him to start on it, and I told him that we had to bring it to the jury. I couldn't give him authorization. So But at that, I'll make a motion that we, engage South Central Planning to assist us in generating, that plan.
Multi-year information plan, motion by Mr. Blanchard,
Second.
second by Mr. Diaz, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, that motion carries.
Okay, and the next discussion would be our LCDBG, the 26-27 funding cycle. I'm not sure if you've had, or that's been included in your packets. It's just a brief summary. If not, I can definitely pass that out. You have it? Okay, great. So I'll just do a brief overview. Of course, with the Louisiana Community Development Block Grant through the Office of Community Development. Of course, they have an every 2-year funding cycle. This will be for the upcoming 26-27. So they have allocated approximately $23 million to spread across 4 programs that's available. The 4 programs that are available is public facilities, clearance, economic development, and make a difference program. And I'll kind of briefly go through each one of what is eligible for that. But primarily the first goal, in order to be eligible and start the process of this funding, you must hold a citizen participation meeting, which I know that is later on in the public hearing segment of the meeting. But that citizen participation is definitely a requirement in order to get started to apply, if you would like to apply. As far as additional requirements that are involved, of course, we must follow the LCDBG procurement rules. And of course, eligibility would include as far as income levels, project impact, and of course, past performance is how they rate these applications. So those are major factors as far as your point system and becoming awarded these grants. As far as public facilities, there's a process that you must go through with public facilities. Some of the projects, of course, with public facilities that they have this year will be sewer and water improvements, street improvements as well, and then, of course, potable water as well, that are eligible as far as public facilities. The first step with public facilities, of course, there's a project severity packet that must be completed first before you get to the main application process. With the project severity, it's basically a packet that's placed together, and they do, it's basically a preview of what you're applying for. They rate it off of basically the impact as far as any health or safety risk, any infrastructure conditions, what's the need and the impact. And so they do this rating based off of that project severity. And so depending on where you score, and also, of course, it's very competitive. So depending on where you score, and you score at a certain minimum number, of course, we don't know that minimum average number that they come up with, but you're invited to apply for the actual funding or actual application. There is some important deadlines with that, and that's why it's very imperative that when applying for CDBG projects that you start way ahead in advance, because there needs to be discussion, of course, amongst yourselves, but not only yourselves, with your community itself. The deadline actually for project severity would be May 22nd. When it comes to clearance program, that evolves around as far as demolition and the removal of unsafe private structures. There's a cap, or should I say a minimum at 150. And then, of course, with the parish, if they were to apply for that, it would be up to $750, $750,000, I'm sorry. Economic development program that provides funding for public infrastructure, such as sewer, water, roads, to support business growth. Of course, it's all about job creation when it comes to the economic development program itself. And with that program, is actually an application accepted for the economic program that's year-round. The Make a Difference, or called MAD program, that supports various community projects such as environmental initiatives, outreach programs, education, and shelters. So of course, they have a funding range of about $500,000 to $2 million. And again, all of these projects have their own significant deadlines. The one with, again, just to kind of reiterate, as far as the approaching deadline, is public facilities with that May 22nd deadline that'll be approaching. So again, it's just to get you all to start, thinking about if you would like to apply, and if so, what areas you would like to target, what type of funding you would like to apply for as well. So what would be basically the next steps involved if you were to apply for any of this funding? Of course, as I stated, you start with the citizen participation, which tonight will be actually, you're headed in the right direction, because that citizen participation plan will be adopted, which is the first step and a requirement in order to apply for any community development block grants. Of course, after that, you'll need to identify projects and any funding needs. So basically identify what needs the parish has. What areas do you want to target as well? Just keep in mind that, of course, when it comes to CDBG funding, there is the target areas as far as LMI, low to moderate income. You must meet at least that 51% LMI areas. If not, you do not meet that 51%, of course, it can still qualify based off of urgent need or a blighted area. The third next step would be, of course, prepare for the application deadlines. Again, the deadlines are very imperative. So again, starting now, talking amongst yourselves as well, with your community itself, because that's very important that the community also, has input into these projects itself, so that you can have a head start and be able to apply for these projects itself. I think overall, and again, we can kind of go into the discussion as far as the citizen participation, the adoption later in the meeting. Other than that, any other questions? Great.
Got a crazy question. It's $23 million. That's competitive statewide, right?
That's correct.
Yeah, okay.
Yes,
That
that
really
is correct.
That's a very competitive. Yeah. Got it. Yeah, yeah.
So how is the lines, I guess, selected for low to mod income for like an economic development type project where I guess I don't really understand what the boundaries would be. And no, so I guess what I'm saying is we're trying to increase the economic development of the entire parish, but how do you select one area for economic development when it really applies to the whole parish?
Well, it depends on what type of project you want to apply for first. But of course, if you want to target just one specific area, say the area needs sewer lines, that it would be based off of that specific target area as far as and those boundary lines, say within the 2 streets that you choose, as far as determining the 51%.
I guess I'm thinking if we have some areas that if we could run water to it, we know that those areas will be developed either commercially or residentially. But there is nothing there now.
Then you have
Because
nothing, because it's still going to be off of that target area. Basically, that census tract area is where's the determination is going to be, not off the entire parish. Because the benefit is for specifically that area.
yeah, those census tracts throw us off whenever we try to.
I always thought it was a
That just
zip
doesn't
code.
work.
I always thought your zip code played a part in it too as well.
It does when you pull up the data. You can pull it up as far as the data information itself by zip code as well. But again, you're still gonna have boundaries though. There's still boundaries as far as the project area itself.
So when do the jury have to make a decision to see exactly what identified projects? I see for the facility ones, you said severity assessments are due in May of 2025. So I know we ain't dealing with no more sewer. That's dead. I don't know if there's any water lines. I know I got some roads that I'll never be able to be able to overlay in our program because road overlay program, because there's not enough money. So,
You can put some of the roads in there for sure.
yeah, that'd be about it.
That way we can spend more money in our wars.
We still ain't got enough.
A lot of roads need to be repaired.
We still ain't got enough.
That's the only thing too, what I move it in.
We got the deadline to submit is May
That's what I said.
22nd.
For the applications, May 22nd. So of course you want to always have, because there's steps involved with that. You may need to collect, documentation, depending again, of course of what you apply for. There's data that will be collected. Sometimes there may be surveying involved as well. So the earlier, the better. Of course, we don't want to wait till a week
Don't we have
before
a
the
list?
deadline.
Don't we have a list that we keep carrying over?
Now with CDBG,
That was that.
now with
All right,
CDBG.
so,
This is with no match, right? No matching funding, right?
There's no match for CDBG, but however, as far as depending on what type of program that you choose, some of them cover at admin costs or engineering costs, some of them do not. So just keep that in mind, and it's listed on here as far as which programs cover those costs. So that's just something to keep in mind as well, though, because you will have to
Required
procure.
maintenance.
Those.
I'm sorry, say that.
Required maintenance, is that a new requirement? Like maintenance of the construction, whatever it would be, future maintenance.
You're asking as far as would that qualify?
Is that a requirement now?
Part of the application process, I think you have to identify your assets and your ability to be able to fund the maintenance of
Well,
any
there is a
awarded
cost
project.
estimate you would have to place together. But yes, you would have to ensure that you can meet those financial requirements, yes.
all right, so I would say let's have, probably the first or second meeting in March to have a list.
About roads?
No.
Well, we're gonna have to have a public engagement meeting.
Yeah, that too. So, all right, we'll discuss it more, but we got a little time.
Great, yes.
All right, good deal.
So the next line item, of course, is to request approval and authorize the president to sign the commitment letter for the LA 1 and Highway 403 sidewalks. I believe you have the DOTD letter, and that just basically just needs the authorization as far as the signature from the parish president.
I entertain a motion to the effect that Mr. Rosewater.
Who's that?
Highway 403. Who's that?
That's me.
400,
Chris.
That's good. Can I get a sidewalk on 400?
Not yet.
That's it. It's coming, brother.
That's your playground. Kids can't go to the playground.
That's right.
Something to apply for.
All right, so can I get a motion to, authorize the president to sign a commitment letter for LA 1? Motion by Mr. Pineville, second. Second by Mr. Burrow, all in favor? Opposed, that carries. Is it?
Thank
Thank you very much.
Ma'am.
Update of fire hydrants project?
Yes, we did a walkthrough with the contractor last Wednesday and Thursday. We identified the first 4 to 5 hydrants on the priority list, each at the locations. We placed in the 1 calls to start the work. We have to get a 1 call on each location. We've also identified what materials he will be needing to order regarding how many hot taps, so forth and so on. He's been issued a notice to proceed. I spoke with him this evening and requested a project schedule that we stay on track to make sure that we complete it within the required time. I will be coming to you probably at the next meeting with a proposed change order based on that walkthrough. Not necessarily an increase, but we found where some check valves and certain things were included with the hydrant packages, so those will be a deduct. And we found some locations where we need some additional 8-inch gate valves. So we're making a list and we'll have those prices to you for the next meeting. As I said, it's not necessarily a price increase to the project, it's just a swap out of materials for what we actually found on the ground.
All right, was it? Any-
I have a question regarding the one call. You said you're making the one calls, but you have a certain time frame to commit to finish the work after you make that one call.
Correct, but what we did is we've now gone through and prioritized certain hydrants in every list. We're gonna make a one call so that we get all of the utilities located around them. Specifically, it will have to be an active, we may have to make more than one call more than one call per hydrant as he progresses, because you have to update it, I believe it's every 10 days now.
Like, when does it actually start?
Um,
When they gonna change the first hydrant?
That's when I've asked for that schedule, now that we have that material order list. So as soon as he gives me that material order list and we know those materials will hit the ground, we'll be able to tell you, hey, he's putting shovels to the ground today. But we needed that material list ordered so that we could get the right materials to the site.
Joseph, you looking
Sure.
for valves? You looking for gate valves that came with that?
If you have,
They're at the number 2 yard. on
Okay.
pallets.
okay,
They will put at number 2 yard and the hydrants will put at Ezekiel Street.
okay, I didn't realize they had moved.
Yes.
Okay.
So I guess my concern still remains that we're moving timely. I know the contractor has a notice to proceed.
He has a notice to proceed. He's been given his material list. I spoke to him this afternoon. He is ordering those materials. I've requested a time frame for when those materials will be dropped to the site. And he is prepared to start digging as soon as those materials are here. He is aware of the project deadlines and knows exactly where we have to be. I don't see a problem at this point with him meeting those requirements.
Can you include, Mr. LeBlanc, in any communication between you, the contractor, water company?
Absolutely,
Anybody to
absolutely.
make sure-
We've been including Mr. Landry on all correspondence, but I have no problem including Paul as well.
The reason why I'm concerned is I just feel that an update every 2 weeks on it is just not sufficient to make sure that we're.
Fully
getting the ball rolling.
understand, but I was bringing it to you what I had tonight. We had, like I said, we had the meetings that I emailed everyone that we had that meeting and we included Mr. Landry, everybody included on that as we did our walkthrough. And we've been in contact with him daily since to make sure that the project continues to move.
Is it?
June 30th.
Update on Ag Center roof project.
And we met Mr. Joseph at the Ag Center to mitigate the problem with the electric panel and the concession stand. So we revisited with him. We're gonna do our side of it there, but again, we're just waiting for an updated scope on that.
We're not a full. Updated scope.
You have that yet, though?
We met with Mr. Landry. The project plans, as you all had instructed us, the project plans as far as changing the roof and everything on the Ag Center are ready to go. After meeting with Mr. Landry, there were some things pointed out, some updates that we're gonna have to do inside, particularly the men's room, to get it back functional and operational. That will have to be we can either add that to those plans and then put it out to bids, or we can get the roof changed, get it operational, and then present that as a separate contract for somebody to come in and do those renovations. Additionally, while we were there, they brought up the large arena roof. The large arena roof was placed out to bids. Bids came in, they came in under budget at that time. At the time, combined with the cost that we were seeing on the lower roof, the larger roof was rejected at that time to opt for looking at an additional, trying to do some work in-house and some additional repairs that they had done. That did not work out. So he's asked us to come back. I believe the insurance company has gone back out and revisited the roof because there were some additional damages. We're now assessing those. Plus, there were some electrical requirements and things that he brought up to us. So we are looking at providing a full scope of work for the large arena. I just have not had sufficient time to put all of that together. I haven't gotten the full insurance report yet either to see what we would have to include on that scope to provide for this evening.
So do y'all want him to do the roof? Or do y'all want to include the other stuff too as well? I think that's the question he's asking.
I wasn't asking that question, right? I'm sorry.
That's what he's asking.
But I don't have the information from the insurance companies and so forth to give you a full scope of work as far as the large arena is
We're
concerned.
worried about the concession stand right now.
And I understand that, but again,
This has been dragging on for 2 years?
Ag Center, the concession stand.
We'll put the roof out as is, and then we can address the additional work that the renovations that need to be done with the bathroom.
Yes.
So the termite treatments were also performed today. Contractor signed, everything was done, they performed the treatment, so it should be good to go.
So as we discussed before, there was an issue where at least your opinion was that the bids were high because of the liability that the contractors had, having to work around equipment and so
Correct.
forth in the building.
Correct.
Has that been
That was
handled
addressed,
and
that was addressed
mitigated?
with Mr. Landry. He's gonna be removing the equipment that's of concern from the building so that when we turn it over to the contractor, it will not be an issue for him to address.
Okay, and we have that identified in the bid documents that's going out to eliminate that from concern, or is that gonna be covered in the?
It will be covered in the bid documents. There's really not much to cover with as far as the contract is concerned, other than to tell him that we're not gonna show those materials in there so that he knows that, in other words, right now we show refrigerators, all the movable equipment that he was concerned about in there. We're gonna simply take that off of the existing plan, saying that he's not responsible for protecting those items. They won't be there.
Right, but when are we gonna have that done to go out for bid?
Now that I understand that you don't want to include the bathroom renovations, I'll try to have those out before your next meeting. I'll send a copy of the advertisement before the end of the week to the administration, and if y'all are good with the bid dates, we'll put it out.
See, we don't want to do the bathroom renovation.
Not saying you don't, I'm saying
Not right now.
not right now. In other words, we have to do some upgrades to the men's room after visiting with Mr. Landry to get it back in operation.
Case scenario.
Every time we're throwing something in there, it's pushing it back further and
Yeah,
further.
that's
I'm
what
not
he
trying to
said.
push it off.
Yeah, so that's why I asked you, do you wanna just do the roof, get it over with and take care of that bathroom next? Or do you want him to include the roof and the bathrooms together all in one?
It can be separated, gentlemen. I mean,
Separate, just move, cause it's delaying stuff.
I just needed direction from
Just
you.
move forward with the roof.
Move forward with the
Yeah, just
roof.
move forward with the roof. There you go.
Thank you.
There you go.
All right, thank you.
Update on courthouse renovation project. Anything?
So we received the sewer report back from Keith Lodge, but I wasn't quite, after some discussion, there wasn't enough information. We needed more recordable information. So I sent a request to him, working with Grace Abear on the needed information. And they were actually on site today, doing some additional measurements. So we can add to the drawing and make it more defined as to where the sags are, the length of the pipe and some things like that. Leroy had asked for it. John and I had a conversation with him. We needed a lot more information to define it, to actually get a scope of work more than just a drawing that said, here it is, 1, 2, 12, we might have a 1-inch sag, this section. And that way we can utilize that when we build the bid package to go out in the future.
So you have more information.
Correct, yes, sir.
All right, good deal.
Did they
Update
get
on
back
tech.
with you yet?
Hmm?
They got back with you yet?
Keith Lott hadn't, I saw they told you they were on site today, doing some additional measuring. So they haven't completed that portion of it yet, no.
So have more information for us at next.
Right, and we also, I've been working with Mr. Paul to help him, and they're also preparing some information for him to assist with the grant portion of it.
For our CIP grant.
Update on Tacopah Landing project, anything? Nothing? Discuss issues arising with the consolidated sewer district household connections.
Correct, gentlemen. I put this on the agenda and I sent y'all an email discussing the situation specifically at 5447 Highway 1. In October, I went with the maps of all the districts and got with the water plant and kind of advised them to put people that in the district that wasn't paying in that district to start paying. And I was actually, and then Mr. Carter had kind of questioned me on it, about it, further down the line, that probably was not something I should have did, but it was too late, I did it already. So this lady approached me about a month ago and started saying that she's been added on to that list to pay, but she says she's not connected. She's in the boundaries. She's on Highway 1 in the boundaries of the sewer district on the mapping, but she says she's not connected. So me and Mr. Fleming went out with a probe and a shovel Patrick Fleming from Public Works, we could not find any type of plumbing that led to, that would lead to, Charles Street. It's 187 feet of, sewer pipe that would take it to our sewer, district, to our sewer hookups. And I don't know how to proceed with this. I mean, I've been told that it's the responsibility of the Department of the Sanitarian with the Department of Health to go out and make sure they're hooked or not, for them to make that evaluation. So I'm just asking the jury's opinion on whether they want me to proceed with that and go to the Department of Health. But with that being said, I've had a preliminary conversation with the young lady with the Department of Health, and she said that this person at this address has told them they don't want her on her property. So, I'm just kind of asking guidance from the jury here, how do you want us to proceed with this?
So sanitary didn't go on the property.
Not as of yet. She said that, that the homeowner didn't want her on the property. So, I don't know if that's gonna take a official request from the jury or from me to tell her to go specifically see if this lady's hooked. The drawings that I got from the engineer show us that they hooked, but I cannot define a line that hooked them with the probe. It would need to be, the property would need to be almost with an excavator to try to find a hookup. It goes under, it would go, have to go under a fence, under some trees, 187 feet. It's beyond the scope of me to go out with a shovel and a probe to find it.
Well, I understand it, but until a sanitarian go in there, we can't go, we not moving, we not doing anything.
Well, the issue with that is she's coming in and wants me to take off the $30 charge that we put on there 3 months ago, and she wants back payment.
Hold on, Paul, let me stop you. We had some communication with the ADA on this, and he recommended us take a path forward. That is, as Mr. Carter discussed with the homeowner, to allow the Department of Health to go on site to have an inspection. And then after that, the jury can consider if she should be connected or refund back charges.
Yes.
But we need to hear from the Department of Health first. So his advice was that we asked Mr. Carter to speak to the landowner to get permission for LDH.
I will go speak with this landowner here about the situation to try to resolve this problem. But this problem started years ago before most of y'all was on this jury, including myself. Okay, the jury allowed these folks to opt in or opt out. And now we're saying the law said that you should be paying if you're in the district. The health department is the one that's supposed to enforce that law. But now we are the ones trying to enforce it and getting ourselves in a bind. And what we're gonna do, I mean, eventually we're gonna find ourselves in a lawsuit. The health department, if they can't go on the property, they have a right to call a deputy to go get on the property. But if they don't wanna do it, then Paul should be trying to force himself to do it. But I will speak with this owner here, but I'm not doing it to nobody else.
All right, and report back to the next meeting. What we can do.
Yes, sir.
Sanitarian got the,
Yeah, they got the authority
they
to
got the
do it.
authority,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
got to do it. Other than that, our hands are tied
Get a deputy.
till then, so. That's what we're gonna do. Next item. Request final approval for a mobile home park rental property at 103, 105, and 107 Teddy Street in Bell River.
You met all the requirements, right?
He has, this is a property that we gave preliminary approval back to at the beginning of last year. He had some problems getting sanitary approval. He's finally got that. So he's ready for final approval, so he can come pull the proper permits and get the proper inspections.
Everything's
I
good.
recommend it. Everything is,
Everything's good. All right.
our ordinance is.
Motion approved.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Ponville, second by Mr. Mathern, all in favor? Opposed, motion carries. 12, discuss and approve to revise section 1 policy for methods for conducting technical evaluations and personnel manual.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I put this on the agenda, just like we were discussing earlier with the blackout period, all in favor of that. And also put in there, just as a proposal, that now it eliminates us from having contact with those engineers, so now the full jury can be a makeup of that evaluation team. That's my proposal. And like our brother discussed earlier, I think it's a good thing.
And how many members would that
That's
consist of?
4 members and a designee, from the parish, probably grants person.
What's wrong with the system that we have now?
What's wrong with the system now?
I think putting full jurors is just political.
Well, the blackout
You know that's
period
not
keeps
gonna
it out of
work, right?
political,
Come on, man.
keeps it out of being political. And, you
Well,
know,
I'll just say this, and I know Kim made mention earlier that there's no issues with the system now, but I've spoken to multiple people that have been involved on these scoring committees. They do not want to be scoring these RFQs. The pressure that they feel from jurors and others, the jury is the ultimate body making a decision of who we're going at. You know, and I can go back to the St. Vincent review that was done. There were very critical aspects of the technical part of that were missed in the evaluation that no one in the scoring team was aware of. And if they're not aware of it, how can they properly be scoring the applicants? That's the thing. So we have to make a decision on the scoring team's recommendation without any additional information. And if we're ultimately responsible for it, I think we ought to be participants in that process.
The blackout period, in my opinion, does a very good job of restricting the political influence. The putting 4 jurors on the evaluation team puts all the political influence back on those.
It's gonna be
plans.
political, no matter how you look at it. I mean, political with the jury or political without the jury in on it. It's all political. I mean, there's no way around that part.
Well, but that was the point of the structure the way it is now. And if the presence of an engineer on that committee is beneficial to help the miss on the technical side, then how about 1 juror be a part of that committee? But 4, there's not 4 engineers on this board that can be present with that technical.
well, you got
experience.
2. You got two engineers.
We're not 4.
Okay. Okay.
I still go
At
back
the end of the
to,
day, everything's come back to us non-jurors.
we still have department heads that do not want to participate in this process. And do we force them to? You know, I mean, are we getting the product that we want if we force them to participate?
And y'all got item on the floor, I mean,
Make your
make a motion.
Make your motion.
I'm gonna put it out there. I'm not on the committee.
I'll make a motion that we modify the personnel policy manual for the methods conducting technical evaluation as presented in the document that we received.
Second.
Without.
There's a motion made, there's a motion second. All in favor? Opposed?
Hey,
Ayes have it, motion passed.
motion to adjourn.
Motion done by Mr. Diaz.
Oh, wait. We need to go back and visit item number 1 under GIS, the contract amendment for GIS. We need to get that approval contingent upon the cost analysis that is required to be done. We cannot move forward with signing that and approving it without the cost analysis.
Makes sense. All right, so I entertain the motion to that effect.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Diaz, second by Mr. Blanchard, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Motion adjourned
Motion adjourn.
by Mr. Diaz, second by Mr. Brewer, all in favor?
All right.
Opposed? Motion carried.
All right, we'll now call for a public hearing for the citizen participation agreement to obtain public input on community development needs within the parish under the State of Louisiana Community Development Block Grant. At this time, we'll hear any public comment on it, but I'd like the jury to know that we'll have an additional public hearing once we engage Mr. Gordon and have a better opportunity to I guess, inform the public so that they're aware of such a hearing. Mr. Gordon asked that this item be put on the agenda, but
Well, we
I
did
think,
advertise.
I understand we advertise, but I think we need a little bit better idea to inform the public and search for projects that they can come and testify to. But we'll hear any public comment that we have now. Second call. Last call. Let the record reflect there was no public comment during the public hearing. All right, so at this time, we'll call to order the regular meeting of the Assumption Parish Police Jury for Tuesday, February 11th, 2025. Let the record reflect all members are present. Please rise for our prayer and pledge. God, who teaches us by sending the light of the Holy Spirit into our hearts, grant that by the light of that Spirit, right judgment may be ours and that we may ever find joy in his guidance. Amen. pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This time we're here, any corrections to the minutes of January 8th, January 22nd, meeting that was rescheduled to January 29th. If there are any corrections to those minutes that have not been submitted and included in the official minutes. Hearing none, I'll seek an approval of those minutes. Motion by Mr. Alcorn, second by Mr. Bro. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Public comment period. At this time, we accept public comment for any item on the agenda. Second call.
Good evening. Thank y'all for allowing us to come up. This would be for item 14.
Well, we'll actually call you up for item 14. So
Okay.
we'll get you specific to that one.
All right, that's what.
That's fine. Let's skip over. Understand. We'll get you up here for that one. Any other public comment? Second call, last call. No further public comment. Drainage Committee report, Chairman Fonville.
Yes, sir. Drainage Committee meeting was held this afternoon at 4:15. All members were present besides Mr. Carter. Item number one, we had an update on the Lower Texas Monterey Conshohocken Road Canal from Mr. Savoy. We approved to extend a one-truck rental for job number 93-239. We approved to purchase 5 15-inch culverts for project 93-198. We discussed drainage concerns behind Lacey Street on Law Street. They also approved to sweep out and remove trees from Home Run Parkway. We approved the culvert replacement at 118 Agnes Street. We approved to increase the culvert size from 12-inch to 15-inch for project 93-242. Discussed the rental of 2 dump trucks. And we also, and we approved that to rent them for 1 month. And we also had an update from Parish Manager on existing drainage projects. I present this all in form of a motion.
Motion by Mr. Pineville. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Nakam. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next item is Personnel Committee report, Chairman Diaz.
Personnel Committee met at 4:36. All members were present. We approved for accountant to earn excess K time hours needed in preparation of a 2024 audit to be paid for any hours in excess of 240. We approved to hire another accountant for the administrative office. We approved to end the 6-month probationary period for special programs director effective February 10th, 2025. We approved to hire general maintenance worker, grade 5, step 19. We approved to hire equipment operator 2, grade 5, step 18. We approved to hire equipment operator 3, grade 5, step 28. We approved the 1.6% raise for employees on the recommendation of the department heads.
On average.
On that average.
Mr. Chair, can you separate number 8, do first 7, do a vote, and then come back to number 8 for vote?
We'll do number 9. We have 1 deviation. We approved to hire administrative assistant field worker for the OEP department. At
Grade 5, step.
grade 5, step 14. I present this on the form of a motion.
So move.
Motion by Mr. Diaz, second by Mr. Carter. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Number
Motion carried.
Number 7, we discussed raise increase. No, number 8, we capped parish employees not to exceed $105,000 per year.
Salary.
And I make a motion that we do not cap.
Second that motion.
So out of the committee had made a motion that we cap employees' salaries at regular salary at $105,000 per year. Out of that committee, Mr. Nakhan is now making a motion that we, repeal that and do not cap, the regular salary of employees, second by Mr. Mathern. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I oppose.
Oppose.
Opposed. All right, ayes have it. Motion carried. Next item is Finance Committee report. Finance Committee met, I'm sorry,
Road and Bridge.
Road and Bridge. Mr. on the agenda.
Road and Bridge met this afternoon. All members were present. We only have one item on the agenda where we approved to place a fire hydrant and support on Cajun Street.
Cousin Street.
Cousin Street. I give you that item in the form of a motion.
Motion by Mr. Alcorn, second by Mr. Bro, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Finance Committee report. Finance Committee met, approved to pay list of bills submitted through February 6, 2025. We tabled, discussion on the Gomesa funds. And, we approved the rental for 1 month of a CX 145 excavator in the amount of $5,000, with the intent of, trial to consider purchasing. And we have one deviation, to authorize the president to sign a contract with the lowest approved bidder of annual air mosquito spraying contractor, contingent upon legal counsel review of contract.
Motion to approve your report.
Motion to approve the report by Mr. Nakhan, second by Mr. Mathern, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Engineering Grants Committee report, Chairman Nakhan.
Yes, all members are present. First items, update from GIS Engineering. We heard them on Dellamore Street, Bertrandville Street, Bell Rose drainage. Requested amendment to the contract with GIS Engineering to include design, service, and construction administration for the Swanson Canal project based on cost analysis. Go with that. Table number 2, we heard from, Infinity Engineering and Parish Wide Sewer improvement projects. Update from the account grants coordinator, discuss memorandum change in procurement methods for blackout period for Crosset Canal and Bayou St. Vincent projects. Blackout periods for construction projects. Update from South Central Planning and Development Commission, discuss administration of the restore funds. Discuss LCDBG 26-27 funding cycle. And hopefully we have a wish list by the second meeting in March. Request approval. And authorize the president to sign the commitment letter for LA1 and Highway 403 projects. And back to the administration to restore funds, South Central Plan Development Commission doing multi-year implementation plan for that Restore Act funds. We had update on fire, and also we approved the president to sign a tax exemption form for the plot bill project. We had update on fire hydrants project, update on Ag Center roof project. So the engineer to concentrate on the concession stand for now. But update on courthouse renovation projects. We'll have more detail on the next meeting. No item on the tactical landing. Discuss issues with arising with the consolidated sewer district household connections. Request final approval for we'll approve final approval for mobile home park rental property at 103, 105, and 107 Teddy Street in Bell River. And we discuss and approve to revise section 1 policy for methods for conducting technical evaluation in personnel manual. Present you that all in form of a motion.
Motion by Mr. Nakhan, second by Mr. Alcorn, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next item is public hearing report. Prior to our meeting, we had a public hearing, as it relates to citizen participation agreement. We had no public comment, And we will set another, public hearing to get comments relative to the multi-year implementation plan. Next item, introduction of the Helping All
You
People.
don't want to adopt that resolution for the citizen participation plan. Leslie, that we need to adopt that so y'all can continue to move forward, right?
Motion to
The
adopt
resolution on the public hearing.
the resolution in the public hearing report.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Nakane, second by Mr. Carter. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
We can still have another public hearing. It just allows us to adopt the citizen participation plan to move forward. Is that correct?
To develop it.
So. Yes, so the first step, of course, is the adoption first. You have to have the plan in place. And of course, this starts the process as far as you're incorporating your citizens, your community, to engage them in the planning process, of course. Now, there is an additional required meeting. You can have as many public meetings as you choose, but there will be a required additional one that's, of course, listed in your citizen participation plan that you just adopted, that before you submit any application, you have to have another public meeting to engage the public again. So again, this is all about the community involvement and engaging them, having that transparency. And of course, overall, it's a requirement of the LCDBG grant itself.
Perfect. Had a call for a vote on that one.
No,
Okay, all
we
right.
did.
Next item, introduction of the Helping All People organization, Ms. Erica Wolf.
Good evening, yours.
Good evening.
My name is Erica Wolf. I am the president and the co-founder of a nonprofit called HAP, which stands, can y'all hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Which stands for Helping All People. This is a nonprofit that began in Terrebonne Parish back in 2020 during COVID. It is a vision that Mr. Wolf, my husband, had to help more people. So we began that nonprofit with our first event in the community, giving out toys for Christmas. So we started in October of 2020, and we gave our first event of December 2020. And it was with the help of all family and friends who understood the mission, which is the mission is to help everyone in need. So when you think of a nonprofit, you think of something specific that nonprofit does. So with our nonprofit, the difference with that is we help anyone with anything in need. So we have on our site, we get often referrals for housing help. We get often referrals for food help. So what we can't help with, we resource out. The funding that HAP receives is mainly through fundraisers. Fundraisers are not always easy, but when you have people out there that understand what you're doing, they always come through. Had we had grants before? Yes. Bayou Community Foundation just gave us a grant. Actually, that's our third one with them. And this year will be 5 years that we'll be celebrating HAP in October. So I'm coming tonight, and I am the president and also the co-founder, but I'm coming to you tonight to extend an invitation to accept us into your parish, because we are wanting to expand in Assumption to be able to help the Assumption residents. And that's all I have. Do you have any questions?
We can't turn down that.
No, we appreciate it. Come on. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
You mentioned your website. What is your website?
It is helpingallpeople.webador.com.
I have a question.
Oh, yes.
Do you get involved with the homeless population?
That is one of our missions. When we started out, one of the missions, my husband was getting involved with the homeless, and then it just kind of, but we're headed back that way. Mhm.
We've never considered ourselves to have a homeless population in this parish until the last couple of months, when my office got called about 2 different residents that were taken for treatment out of this parish at a medical facility. When they were brought back to their home, that medical transport deemed their home not livable.
Mhm.
So those calls came to my office, and we just don't have anything set up in this parish to assist anybody with we don't have any hotel rooms, any type of housing, any type of stuff. So if you have a card, if you want to maybe get with me, that's something we can maybe work on.
Oh, definitely, definitely.
It definitely it's an evolving issue that's going to get larger in this parish.
Yes, yes. Sir.
So, I mean,
Correction on that, we've been had homeless people in this
Well,
parish. It's just not,
it never.
now
yeah.
that people starting to see it a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yes.
But they transient and they moved up to Thibodeau and larger parishes to take care of them, but we're gonna see where there's more of a need for it in this parish, where during the cold events and those type of issues where people, don't have a place, they get kicked out from the people they're living with and they don't have nowhere to go.
Exactly. And I must say, I'm going to admit that I'm not very well with always inputting information on the website, but if you go to the Facebook page, that's always current. The Facebook page is HAP Organization. I'll be remiss if I did not say this to you all, that we started in 2020. In 2022, American Red Cross decided that they wanted to partner with us. So we are a hub for American Red Cross. We would have had a representative here tonight, but she could not make it. But, and I just signed another MOU for another 2 years with American Red Cross. So as we come into your parish, American Red Cross will be coming as well. What did I want to say? So with that said, in the next few weeks, and I've been talking to a few members of residents of your community, we want to get together and come to them and have talks about HAP and see if they would like to join from this end. So if you know of anyone, and I can surely keep you abreast of the date that we will be coming in and talking and see if we can have people sign up for HAP. Okay?
Thank
You
you,
say your,
ma'am.
what'd you say your Facebook page is?
HAP
HA.
Organization.
She can also set up a meeting with Tawana, or maybe when we have our community action board meeting, after one of our meetings, maybe you can attend that and address the board, the community action board members. So there's ways.
Wonderful, wonderful. And I want to thank you all for listening to me.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next item is request approval to adopt the resolution of support for a holistic management plan of the Atchafalaya Basin, which will be proposed to CPRA for inclusion in their master plan. And we have Mr. Dean Wilson here with the Atchafalaya Basin Keeper.
Hello, this evening, good evening.
Yeah, talk loud, that don't.
No, don't work, you talking, they can hear you up there.
Okay, well, good evening. I hope you have a chance to review the management plan. We did have 2 public meetings. So members of your parish and every parish met in Bayou Fishermen. Fishermen from the west side meeting Carahula. What they did, design, I don't know if you're familiar with, I came here last time and talked to you about it. How to connect the levee, with gates and typhoons and pumps. So those connections were designed by the public, by fishermen. I don't know if you have any questions for me today?
I'm good.
We look at it, it's pretty good. All the sites of the pumping station, that's where they gonna be at, and that's just maybe here or there.
On the pump station.
The what? That's what we,
The gates.
well, that's what we're gonna present that to CPRA, but it's gonna be 4 years talking back and forth. You know?
Right.
So things may change over the 4 years.
The general idea was to reconnect the water bodies that were disconnected whenever the levee system was built, but have some gates that can be operated to allow a cross flow of traffic when the water allows. And then also, for the moving of water both ways, so that, if we need to bring water back on this side or send water back on the spillway side for flooding, right? It's basically to not necessarily reverse the effects of the levee, but address the negative impacts that the levee had on our ecosystem
Oh, they did.
on either side of the basin.
Yeah.
And then there's some other things in here that, relate to the diversions that have been done in the basin, so that they can implement some strategies to capture the sediment and not let the sediment fill in the basin, in the future.
Motion to adopt the
And they will
resolution.
be able to mine, you know, sand from Grand Lake, Fat Lake, Lake Palur. And that will allow us to restore the depth of, like lakes like, Bay Natchez, Lake Barrett. The best thing, you know, to manage that kind of sediment, because it's very light, is clay, is to put it back into suspension when you have a current. And that will move back to Lake Palur, where it can be dredged and suction dredged and bring to the coast. So, yeah, it will be, once that get implemented, that will maintain our full capacity forever.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson. There's a motion on the floor by Mr. Nakam to adopt the resolution, second by Mr. Pondville. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried.
Okay, thank you. And one thing, we communicate with CPRA over the next 4 years. I will come here with updates, you know.
Thank you. Please do.
Sure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next item is, request approval to apply for, excuse me, a crossing upgrade through the Safe Routes to Public Places program located in front of the funeral home on Highway 7 in the Pierreport community. So actually, what we'll be doing here is amending the previous application that we had to Safe Routes to Public Places that had the 2 crosswalks near the high school, one on LA 10308, and then crosswalk at the school at Highway 70 in Pierreport. So this is gonna add the one between the church and the funeral home.
Yeah.
In Pierreport.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve the amendment of that application by Mr. Pondville, second by Mr. Mathern. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next item, consider sending resolution asking state government to consider funding opportunity for multi-government complex.
Table. I'll put that on there. I know there's some, discussions of trying to seek some funding to have a multi-government complex, so I think we need, the state government need to know that we do support it as a whole body of Central Parish and New Jersey support it, so.
Yes, sir, and thank you, Mr. Nakam, that's exactly right. Chief Judge Stephen Turo is here as well. Actually, Judge Turo has done a lot of work on pursuing different avenues of funding. But the fact is, if we find an avenue of funding, it is the jury that has to request it. So before we go any further down that road, we're just asking that you do support that concept. Of course, you would get to look at that funding option. So we're not just asking you to blindly say, whatever you come up with, we're going to do. Obviously, we wouldn't ask you to do that because you cannot commit to that. But we do know that there are some avenues right now of state funding and on the federal side through Senator Cassidy's office, the state side through the governor's office. And we're ready to go, especially on the state side with the session starting in April. Kind of got to get in line now. I know Mr. Calabro wanted to wait and put it on the end of the month. Problem is, we really got to start those discussions. And so we would actually support for that. The project, by the way, we're going over Bear site. We have closed that purchase. So that property is there, so we can use that for government use. That was the purpose of the sheriff's office purchasing it.
Right.
Also, along with Mr. LeBlanc, obviously also has a grant application for OEP Office and Communication Center. That is separate from this. Okay, that's been an ongoing project now for, I think, for
Probably about a year or so.
Yes, sir. It's a slow moving process, hazard mitigation grant.
Would actually approve.
Just to build on what Sheriff Falcon said, we're working to identify and find potential sources of funding to assist in any way, shape, or form. So we would just need, well, I guess what we're asking for is that you all commit to, if we find those sources, if and when we find those sources, that you all as a body would formally request it once we identify them for y'all, and you have time to vet them and look at them and everything else.
Exactly. I mean, we're in favor of pursuing, but
You have to
they come
vet.
back and say, well, yeah, all right, we got $20 million, but you gotta put up $5 million. Well, okay, it's a different ballgame now. But anyway, to start the ball rolling, I will make a motion that, yeah, we do support finding funding for multi-government
Right,
complex.
and like I've stated in our meetings, in planning meetings, but I'll state publicly, we just need to identify a responsible plan from the parish to maintain such a facility. You know, the parish is strapped for cash now. We're gonna have meetings in the next few weeks on how we can cut back certain budgets and stuff. You know, this may be that other entities have to help support the maintenance on this facility. You know, it just can't all rely on our current budget, because right now, our budget doesn't support it. We have to find additional funding sources for that recurring maintenance that, you know, in the first 5 years, we'd probably be fine. But after, you know, those 5 years come up, a $20 million facility is gonna be quite a hit to our maintenance department and, you know, both salaries and costs. So we just need to make sure that in these discussions that we have that,
I
captured.
think that and we've had those discussions with a number of the involved parties. And I think that anyone that benefits from such a facility then should have a contributing
Definitely.
factor to that.
1,000%.
And, so I don't think that we found anyone that disagrees with that. And I know and I know you've expressed that concern, Mr. Blanchard, I think that can be addressed.
Second that motion.
As of now, everything's on the table. We aren't taking anything off, so we're looking at
That's
every
right.
possible way.
That's right,
any way,
the
shape, or
government need to know
form.
something parishes that support. So
Shoot for the stars.
My motion's on the table. to
That's
send the
what I'm saying,
resolution
shoot for the
to
stars, you
state.
get the moon, you're doing good.
Doing good.
Motion on the floor by Mr. Nakam, second by Mr. Diaz, approving a resolution asking the state government to consider funding opportunities for a multi-government complex. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank y'all very much.
Then as soon as we
Appreciate it.
identify them,
Thank
we'll
you.
present to y'all as a body.
Yes.
Thank y'all very much.
Thank you. I had to put you on the highway with a can shake, but.
You might pick up some money, Jeff.
You need a permit for that. You'll have to come back and get one.
Y'all have a good one. Thank you.
All right.
Next item, review proposed changes to the communications tower ordinance and call for a public hearing. So this relates to the
Yes.
variances that we had to have.
Yeah, as y'all know, we've had two communication towers recently. For the first time in about 20 years, probably.
Hopefully we have more soon.
Well,
We need them.
and this will basically get rid of a right of inspection by the parish engineer to ascertain compliance with any applicable codes and regulations. Getting rid of that, and where it says after review by the floodplain manager and permit office, getting rid of our parish engineer because we no longer have one. And we're adding at the end of 5-117, adding all application, basically the application y'all approve forms by the Assumption Parish Police Jury. Must then apply for a building permit through the Assumption Parish Permit Office to obtain the required permit. So basically saying they just have to go through the plan review and building process inspections.
Right.
and stuff, which they do, that's what we're doing for the last.
So at this time, we will call for a public hearing at our next available meeting for these proposed changes to the ordinance.
Motion call for a public hearing.
Motion to call by public hearing by Mr. Nakam, second by Mr. Alcorn. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Request approval of a can shake permit for Church of God Prophecy, October 18th and November 1st, 2025.
So.
Motion by Mr. Alcorn, second by Mr. Bro. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Request approval of the following occupational license: Brothers Fire Equipment Service in Youngsville Addie Ray Custom Creations LLC, Donaldsonville, the Chill Zone Daiquiri and Lounge, Plattenville, Bayou Bouncers Event Rental, Morgan City, and Super Nails LLC, Pankerville.
So move.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Carter, second by Mr. Alcorn. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Request approval of the following liquor license applications: the Chill Zone Daiquiri and Lounge, 113 Highway 70 Spur, Plattenville, 70393.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Alcorn, second by Mr. Carter. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Request approval of the following temporary liquor license for Friends of Laverdale Community, Jude Concierge, 310 Bruley Road. Motion by Mr. Bro,
Second.
second by Mr. Nakam. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Any other items? Motion adjourned by Mr. Nakam, second by Mr. Mathern. All in favor? Opposed? Meeting adjourned.